And here we are. Finally, the Fablemate YT is it's alive. It's here.
It's been
No
long
longer.
asked for, long awaited. The road has been treacherous, but
We should
we figured out over the course of the past 3 months how to set up a YouTube channel. So,
gotta click a record button.
well, this is our first ever YouTube video. Feels weird.
Dude, it's wild. It's like talking to a third person that isn't there, but they're there, but they're not gonna speak. It's a weird thing, and I don't like it.
I'm talking to you, people watching.
Figure we open it up with a Q&A though.
Yeah, a little bit of a Q&A, get some background information, and there'll be some banger videos coming out later.
Oh yeah.
So the first question I want to open up with was something very near and dear to my heart. What is your favorite game?
That's a tough one. That's like asking somebody their favorite song or favorite movie. It's like there's so much to choose from. It's very difficult.
Or there are an infinite number of
Right,
possibilities.
right, and no correct answer. I think mine.
Yeah, I think for Inmate it'd definitely be Fortnite Battle Royale.
That's a real heater. Really developed and changed my life in a positive way. I think mine is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I just loved that game. And here's the thing. I feel like when you love a game, you can accept that that game has flaws and still love it. Like, I know AC Black Flag is not the best AC game by any stretch of the imagination. It's got tons of flaws. The story is flawed. The gameplay is flawed. But I love it.
Well, you're taking a very different approach from me, because my game is not flawed in any way, shape, or form. It is the
Yes.
perfect game.
Oh, the narrow-minded approach.
That's me. Yeah,
What is it?
I think my favorite game of all time has to be the Metroid Prime Trilogy. I mean, technically it's 3 games, but listen, I'm adapting it to me. This is my YouTube channel.
Right, right. I've never played a Metroid game.
I never played any of the 2D ones, and anytime I talk about Metroid, they're like, "Aw, dude, Super Metroid." I'm like, haven't played it, haven't done it.
No. Mm-mm.
But
I have never touched a Metroid game.
the Metroid Prime Trilogy was just an awesome series. I played it on Wii when I was a little kid, and it was the perfect amount of combat, problem solving, challenging, and
Mm-hmm.
exploration. It had an atmosphere unlike any other game. Everything felt just so cool. Everything was like the ships were over the top, but then you'd like go down into the deep dark caverns, and there'd be one part where it's really cold, and then you'd like go down to the lava layer and be all on fire, and just the atmosphere of that
Right.
game, unlike anything else.
All right. Well, what do we got? What do we got next?
Next on the agenda is, where did you come up with your name? And I'll let you begin with this one.
My dad used to work at a place, and his employee ID tag was 1559. And it's, from what I've heard, because this was before I was born, from what I've heard, he did not like said job and referred to himself as inmate 1559 by his ID tag. And then because I started out on a console, the original Xbox, and then I moved to the Xbox 360 with an account that was by my real name, which is Conrad, and then I moved to online. I got Xbox Live and Minecraft, and I picked up the moniker. They made the account for me. I picked up the moniker Inmate 1559, and I've not changed it since. And I couldn't go by anything else. I mean, it's me.
Isn't it weird how the name can become a part of you?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's just wild. Which brings me to my name, Fable48. I'm a big StarCraft 2 fan. I've loved that game. Day 9 was who I watched. I've watched his content for years, and he was a professional StarCraft player, StarCraft 2 player.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about that game is it was kind of the first big esport. It was before Twitch was a thing. It was the esport. It was what
Right.
people watched.
Yeah.
Which means that a lot of the names are historical, And the naming conventions, I mean, this was where names kind of became important, because this is the first esport. Like
It's your brand.
you couldn't use your name anymore because now you're in front of potentially millions of people, thousands at least.
Right.
And so a lot of the names had these conventions to them. And what arose from that game was everybody chose a word and then a number, or simply a word. So day 9, as I've mentioned, or winter, rainer, like just all these different names or one word, and sometimes a number, sometimes not.
I find it really interesting how with esports, or just at least online play, is how you can become this entire person that's not you.
Yeah.
Like people I've known people for years online who I would consider close friends, and I don't even know their real name. I know them by their online moniker.
Right. I mean, it becomes a part of you.
Right, exactly.
And I had a very similar experience to yours. I had a PS4, not an Xbox, but I had my name on my PS4 until I went online.
Mm-hmm.
And, I used old monikers from different people until I found my own, Fable48. And whenever I got my PC, this was the name I chose because I like the word Fable, and I played football for many years.
Right.
48 was my number. So I chose a number that had been years of my life, and I chose Fable, which is a word that I enjoy, and combined it to be Fable48.
Alrighty. Next.
And we combined that again into Fablemate, which is
into Fablemate,
the YouTube channel we're running now. And next up, we have, what did you do before Twitch?
Oh, here's the thing. Around the time that I started doing Twitch, I was looking for something because I mean, we at the time we started Twitch, we'd already been in quarantine for what 3-4 months, and I was just looking for something. I've always been a very active individual, and I had nothing to sink my time into other than video games, which has always been fine. 2 months of the summer, I can do video games for 2 months, but it got to the point where it was just like, all right, I gotta find something to do.
Right.
And I actually found a doc the other day. It was a list of ideas that I had written down. It was this huge doc. I mean, I probably spent a couple hours on it. It was a couple pages worth of information, and I wrote that doc 12 days before we made the Twitch account.
That's wild.
So I played a lot of video games. I didn't do much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I dabbled in music design and art design a couple times, but never really got into it. I mean, what kid hasn't tried to be a YouTuber at some point in their life?
Me?
I mean, come on, everyone's done it, and I had done that a couple times. So this is like the first full-fledged attempt of becoming an online personality or just putting content out there.
Right. As for me, what did I do before Twitch? I mean, I've dabbled. My thing is, I don't normally put my time into any one thing. That's kind of my issue. I mean, I love StarCraft 2, but I've played it, and I played it for, a month on end, just every day, grinding that game. But at a certain point, I just kind of have to stop. And that's kind of a lot of what I've done throughout my life, is just do one thing, I can focus on it, I can get really good at that one thing, but at some point, I just don't want to do it anymore, and then I move on. Twitch is kind of the exception, which is that I feel like I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still putting stuff out on Twitch. I'm still doing this thing, growing the follower base, growing the number of people that are watching, meeting people, doing whatever. But I'm always playing different games. I mean, whether
you're constantly evolving.
Right, whether it's Smite, Space Engineers, or Don't Starve Together, or Minecraft, or Hypixel mini game, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I'm doing something different constantly. I mean, I've done a lot of different stuff. I've learned to code. I have beside me sitting a robot that I've coded to work. Vex Robotics, if anybody's curious. And so I've done other stuff, but nothing has been a focal point, I guess. Which brings me to the next point, which is, what are your plans for the future?
Ooh.
You see this thing going?
I hope so. Here's the thing: is I don't know. I want to be able to whenever I'm in a position of good fortune, or I'm in a good spot, or if I'm making good money, or I'm in a good mood, or whatever. I want to be able to take care of the people who put me in that position, because I
Hmm.
couldn't be there without them. So I mean, my dream for the future is to just, I don't know if I don't measure success like
Monetarily.
materialistically. Yeah, monetarily, but if I can make a bunch of money and I can take care of the people that have put me in the position that I'm in, that's my plan for the future, is to get to that position in any way possible, whether that be through Twitch or self-education or whatever. I mean, that's my plan for the future.
My plans for the future right now revolve entirely around putting out internet content. I mean, we say
Yeah.
Twitch, but Twitch is kind of our slang for what we do, which is
Fablemate.
Fablemate. It's what we do. I mean, it's the YouTube channel, it's the Discord, it's the millions of different social media websites, which Inmate's telling me I should be on. Listen, I don't do social media,
Come on, we'll get him there eventually.
but it's what we do, and I want to continue doing this.
I do too.
If I can do it full time, that's amazing. If I can only do it part time, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it means I have to work a full time job and then come home at the end of the day and start streaming, that's what I'll do. But
I
I
mean,
want to keep this going.
we did that for a couple months.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still going to school full time, technically. Online school, but I'm still going to school full time, and
Mm-hmm.
I just want this to be my future. And that's what I'm
Oh
hoping
yeah.
for. I don't need to be rich and famous. All I need is to be able to support myself and continue being a part of Fablemate. That's what I want.
Right.
Which brings us to our next point. What are your outside interests? What do you do when you're offline?
Well, here's the thing: is well, Fablemate is I wouldn't say Fablemate's a personality that we've created, but it kind of is at the same time. It's a brand. It's us.
Right.
So the majority of my interests have culminated in Fablemate. They are Fablemate. I am Fablemate. Um, whether it be through music. I love music. We have an audio visualizer at the beginning of every stream. I
With,
love
with
I
rotating
lo-
songs.
right, and I love art. And there's always a new background for the intro to the stream. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of my interests have been brought into the stream. Um, there's not too many big ones that really stand out outside of the stream. I mean, I love music. Music has been a focal point of my life for many years. It's helped me get through a lot of things. Um, I've also played an instrument. I played saxophone for 5-6 years. Um, yeah, I mean, those are pretty much my main ones. I've always wanted to get into music design and art as well, which Twitch and YouTube and Fablemate in general has allowed me to do that quite a bit in
This is
terms of design.
right. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a while, which is like when you meet a streamer or something, there's always that thought in the back of your mind of like, what if they're not that way in real life,
Right.
You hear this about all of the famous people, I mean, is this famous actor, are they acting or is that who they are?
Hmm.
We all want Keanu Reeves to be, you know, Jesus, but is he really? Is he that way in his real
Yes.
life?
Yes, he is.
I mean, yes, he is. Keanu is perfect.
Yeah,
But,
Keanu is
you
perfect
know,
in every way.
it's this thing that we're streaming daily for many hours a day. I'm not
Can't
a
aff-
like you can't act for this long. I mean,
can't afford to be fake for that long. I mean, I could do it for like an hour if I really wanted to, but for 18 hours within the 3 weekend days and 4 hours a day, I mean, no, there's no
yeah,
way
yeah, no, I neither of us could be fake if we wanted to.
for that long.
So when we're asked what we do outside of Twitch, we're like, well, we kind of wait for Twitch to start back up
We
again. I
do
mean,
Twitch.
we wait for our stream to come back around. This is what we do, and I do other stuff. I mean, I ride
Yeah,
motorcycles. I've always been a big engine person, a mechanic, I guess. I work on my own 1999 Nissan Frontier weekly. I've been riding dirt bikes for about a decade. I've flown planes. I've done coding. I've done other I've done other stuff, but at the end of the day, this is what I do. There are interests outside, but this is where those interests culminate. This is where I get to talk about those things.
All right. Well, I mean, here's the thing: is I have the outside of Twitch time. I need mental disconnect from Twitch, but at the same time, it's always a break from Twitch. It's not me doing something else. It's me taking a break from Twitch, which may not be healthy for the time being, and I'm sure it won't always be like that. Because I mean, for years on end, that's not healthy, but for the time being, that's what it is.
This is the priority, and
Exactly.
this is what our life revolves around. I mean, we have to be there on stream at this time, and yeah,
Right.
I can do plenty of other stuff, but this is what we have to be doing.
Yeah.
So that's my views on our interests outside of Twitch.
Alrighty.
What inspired you to be out there on the internet, on the World Wide Web?
Oh, this is gonna sound very, very self-centered and egotistical, but for like the last, not ever, but for the last 3 years or so, I've had very good self-esteem. I've been very fortunate and to have very good support structure through my family and my friends, and just a very positive outlook on life. I've never been nervous to go out there. I know that's an issue for a lot of streamers and content creators. They go out there and they don't want to like show their face, or they're nervous to be on camera. It's like it's difficult. Don't get me wrong, and I am nervous, but I know that I can do it. I know that I can make it happen. And I don't know. One day I was just like I said before earlier in the video is I was looking for stuff to do, and me and Fable had already discussed Fablemate. It was already a name before it became Twitch. It was just we needed an outlet, and we planned on doing YouTube. And I at the time wanted to do a Geometry Dash YouTube channel as well. So I tried recording some on my own one day, and it just wasn't clicking. So I was like, all right, you know what? I already have OBS. Screw it, and I just went live. And I think I live streamed for about an hour. This is with no overlays, no music, no nothing. Literally nothing. I just hit the go live button.
It was a screen capture being
Yeah,
broadcast.
exactly. And then I ended up. You joined in about an hour afterwards, and I think after that night we were just like, all right, we're doing this, and
That
we
was
haven't missed a day.
that was pretty much a conversation. We were live for 2 hours and 45 minutes roughly
Yeah,
on that day, and
I think it took about 2 days, something like that.
I mean, yeah. After we were live the second day, we went, all right, this is what we're doing,
Yeah,
and we
and
just started.
here we have been since July 10th,
Yeah, every day.
streaming and putting out the best stuff we can.
As for
What
my
have you?
inspiration, I've never done anything online really. I mean, I play online games, but I never got with a community. I never went to Discords. I never talked to people. I didn't even go into like team chats if I'm playing Overwatch. Like I just had no interest in it for a very long time. But there came a point where I was like, I really enjoy this, but I have nobody to share it with. Nobody in my life, except for Inmate, has the same passion for games as I do.
Right.
Games are my life. This is what I do. It's very, very important to me. So how can I make this work? And putting it out online was the answer. I wouldn't do it myself, but because I have Inmate here, well, we can both do it. We can split the workload, and I have somebody to bounce my ideas off of, and
Right.
together we get to do this, which is why we're Fablemate to this day. The inspiration was my love for games and having a friend who wanted to do it. That's what happened.
Definitely. I mean, my issue was with a lot of games like Space Engineers and GD especially is I just didn't have anybody that was interested in the game, and now we have a whole community around that, which is awesome.
Right. I mean, I've been playing games for all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a Nintendo DS when I was like 5. I had Mario. I guess the next question is how important are games in your life, which I'll let you answer.
Oh, I mean, I feel like this ties back into a lot of the questions we've already said. Is games are the focal point of our life. I mean, take for instance the very last question we just answered. Um,
Right?
it's the main focus. It's what I do every single day. I get on here and I play games. Is it who I am? Maybe not. But is it what is it a large, very large portion of me? Yeah. I mean, I've been playing games since I was like 6 or 7 years old. I mean, I started out. I think I said this earlier. Is I started on the original Xbox, playing with my dad, and I think within like a week of me touching that Xbox, him playing a game, I had my own game. Then I went from there, and then a couple months later, I got another game and another one and another one, and here we are, a decade later, and I'm playing games every single day for, sometimes dozens of people,
Yeah.
which is crazy, but awesome all at the same time. So they're very, very important.
I mean, this question, how important are games in your life? It wraps up everything we've talked about so far. I mean, why are we doing this? It's because of video games. It's more than what it seems. I mean, there are so many people. I mean, every gamer has heard it's just a game at some point in their life.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's just a
Yeah.
fact. That's
Yeah, that's a
fact.
common trope.
And I don't know. To me, it is something more. It's somewhere that no matter what is going on outside, no matter what is happening, and everyone has a sob story. Everyone has issues to deal with. Everyone has emotions. Everyone has pain and happiness. But games, somewhere where you get to put all that aside, and you get to go from James to Fable48, and that change, it's not something you think about, but it is something that is real.
I
I
think
mean,
if you take it psychologically, it's a very good coping mechanism.
it
You
is,
know, it's a disconnect.
and there's so many facets to it that you can explore other things as well. It's not like you're running from your problems all the time either. It can be an important tool for helping you grow as a person. There are so many games. People complain about games having hidden meanings and all this stuff, and it's not for everybody. And some games are heavy-handed, and some games are a bit too much on that front. But even still, there's a lesson to be learned in games, and
Oh yeah,
there's
definitely.
there's room for you to grow as a person in games, and it's the ultimate coping mechanism where you get to forget about whatever's going wrong and you get to share your passion, your love, your fire for whatever it is. You get to share that.
Yeah, it truly is like nothing. No other type of media.
Which brings us to our final question: philosophies on streaming.
Um, I don't know. I
It's a very broad
Look,
question, hard to
I
answer,
have
but
all right. I got a book idea. I'm gonna be writing this bad boy here in a couple of years. I'm gonna call it "Living Within a System," and it's all my philosophies and ideas about living within society. I haven't quite polished out the idea. You give me a couple of years.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but one of the main ones that I want to talk about is don't burn your own bridges. Uh, I just It confuses me and perplexes me, but at the same time, I understand is when big streamers get so big that they forget what they did to get there. They forget those dozens of hours where they were streaming to 4 people. They forget those all the hard work, the long nights, the 12-hour streams followed by the 4-hour recording sessions, followed by the flight across the country to get to this one meet and greet. It's when you get to such a big point that you forget how hard you worked for everything you have, and you just you kind of trash the people who got you there. It's like why would you run 1,000 ads to the people that have viewed you so loyally? They don't deserve that. They don't want to watch ads. They want to watch you. Why shouldn't they be able to? They're there to see you.
And that's very important to us. We want to give the best viewing experience possible to those watching. We don't want to put
Absolutely.
ads in there. I mean, maybe it'll become a necessity, and I mean, there comes a point where yes, ads do make you money, but if it's lowering the viewer experience, I'd rather do without. I mean,
Yeah, definitely. I'll we'll throw a picture up on the screen right now. I'll show you. If you look at the entire time that we've streamed, you can see that not a single ad has been run, and that will maintain for years to come. I will not run an ad on the stream. I won't. I think that just about wraps up the Q&A. I think we can go ahead and end there.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, that's about it, guys. The YouTube's finally here. I'm super hyped for it.
Me too. Me too.
We plan to upload as often as we can. We'll be putting all kinds of stuff on here. Some original content ideas that we got wrapped up, and then some other ideas like stream stuff. So yeah, that's about it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Bye.